National issues that concern Nigeria and also that of Ogun State can be heard on the Periscope. The Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio with the host Fisayomi Ajibola every weekdays, Mondays to Fridays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You won't want to miss it. Morning to you once again. Today, the 25th in the month of April 2023, and welcome to Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, where we discuss topical issues, where we'll look into issues that affect you and I at the country, outside the country. Definitely, I assure you that it is an interactive conversation. It will be an interactive conversation this morning on Periscope on the Super Dial, which of course will be of interest to you because it is definitely a very vital topical issue that we are going to be discussing this morning on Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. My name is MODUPE AKINYOSOYE. This morning we'll be looking into the arrival of the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which he arrived the country yesterday, Monday, 24th of April 2023, and of course, excitement and jubilation rent the air. When President-elect Bola Tinubu touched down at the international wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport, Abuja, since March 21, to Europe after about 1 month before his inauguration on May 29, 2023. And of course, supporters in their numbers, gathered to welcome the president-elect and went to whooping, the moment Tinubu stepped out of the plane. And it will be recalled that there were controversies that surrounded his whereabouts, his absence, when he left the country. But the spokesman, Tinubu spokesman Tunde Rahman, said his principal traveled to Paris and France to rest and to observe the Lesser Hajj. So speaking, upon his arrival, when he was speaking to the tumultuous crowd who followed him home, the president-elect said, and I will quote how he said it, "I'm happy to be back. I have rested, I'm refreshed, and I'm ready for the task ahead. Forget about what the rumor mill may have told you. I'm strong, very strong," end of quote. That was the words of the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu were on his arrival yesterday. Of course, we'll be looking at different angles to the new administration that will take over from the outgoing administration under the leadership of the outgoing president, Muhammadu Buhari. And of course, there were different reactions, controversies over his health, over, the new administration, how fit it would be, expectations from people, how the next 4 years will be for Nigerians. Of course, a whole lot of things we'll be discussing. And to remind you, of course, yes, it is still fresh. The 10th Senate, the position, the tussle, the battle over the position of the National Assembly, the principal positions. Of course, the different things that have been at the absence, I beg your pardon, of the president-elect. But a whole lot of things is what we're looking into this morning on the arrival of the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But with me, I have someone who will be looking into this, having this interactive session with this morning in person of Fisayomi Ajibola. He's a broadcaster, he's a journalist, a brand analyst, he's a blogger, and communication strategist, among many of his expertise. He's an is our in-house, I call him in-house guest this morning. So we'll be doing this together with him, having this conversation, because many Nigerians have questions, on their mind, questions they want answers to concerning the arrival of the president-elect, because whatever news about the president-elect or whatever story about the president-elect is the news. So definitely it has to do with you and I, which will be of interest to you and I this morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning. You're welcome. Thanks for having me as your in-house.
Thank you so much, definitely for it's a pleasure having you around this morning. Okay, now let's start. I'm sure you listened to the introduction. The absence of the president-elect, Bola Tinubu, stirred up, disparate feelings and, reactions. But do you see the absence as necessary, because from the words of the Tinubu spokesman saying he had to went to rest after the, tedious campaign and election and all of that. So do you see his absence as necessary, or how would you react to the several situations trailing his absence? Let's start from there.
Thank you again for having me. The truth is, I doubt if there's any human above 60 years of age who does not have one ailment or the other. He's nurturing. And if a man over 60 years of age toured the 36 states within the span of 3 months for the campaign, and you think that man does not deserve a rest, I see such person as not being realistic.
Okay.
Even if a 10-year-old boy moved around the 36 states of Nigeria, that person will be tired. The rumor that came that he was flown out with an ambulance aircraft, he's sick, he was on life support. Well, unfortunately, those who mill, using his word now, those rumor mongers who mill such rumor, unfortunately, they not create a platform that will make it believable, unfortunately.
Okay.
They should have come up with, even if it's a caricature picture, if not a Photoshop, come up with something at least to play on the intelligence of those who you are deceiving. To show that, he was on a life support, he was sick. But I don't see. You see, in Nigeria, we most times leave what is important and start talking about the non-important. Should his absence stir any controversy? Has he taken over the seat as the president? No. So why should we be
but some people will argue that he's the president-elect, and definitely some people will argue, why can't he rest in his home country?
Don't forget that there is transition committee that is taking care of
PCT.
how the power will change hand. He is not part of the transition committee, so he has little or nothing to do.
Let me bring out another thing. You would agree with me, there are so many circumstances that has happened, situations that has happened in his absence, which he's supposed to witness. Because some people will argue that he's supposed to witness some things that are happening upon his inauguration on May 29th.
Like what? Are you talking about the court cases or what? See, it's the way we play politics in Nigeria is very funny, and the template of our politics is found nowhere in the world. We are so peculiar that we play our politics dirtier than every other country. What are those things that has happened that you think he must witness? Nothing.
You think so?
Nothing. Is it the court cases? Is this the judge? Is he the judge? Or do you want to talk about those oppositions who are throwing tantrum at him? Going outside the country for 34 days or thereabout is no crime.
But witnessing the positions of different sectors we have in the country, the education, the situation these sectors have before it takes on the mantle, so to say, from the president, don't you think is what waiting to witness, okay, the points where education, health, everything, the sector, agriculture, every aspect, economy, business, the situation where we are at the moment, witness and be able to know what to do. Should that come after inauguration? And another thing, the reports that people will give to him, is it not better that he has the information firsthand and see for himself before the inauguration?
Let me take you through what governance looks like.
Okay, please.
If you are going to be installed as the new president or the new governor, there is always a transition committee that will study what the previous government or the incumbent government has done in the last 4 years, or sometimes the last 8 years of the person's administration, and it will give an overview of what they think the person has done right, or where they think the person lack support, or where the incoming should concentrate on. It will come in a blueprint which would be submitted to the incoming. Now, don't forget that these ministries, the report will not come out at once.
Yes.
We don't know. The Ministry of Finance must have submitted his blueprints to the president-elect. Maybe those blueprints were part of the blueprint he was studying while resting abroad. We don't know. But you can't expect a president-elect to start going physically to these places to start observing, okay, what is it that you said you have done? Okay, you said you have two bosses here. One is lacking. You have not done this. No. You can't. Okay, see what is happening in, I think it's in one of the eastern states where the governor is going. He's an outgoing. Unfortunately, his protege did not win the election. Another person, opposition, won the election. And the opposition has started going all around to say that properties of the federal government being used by some private organizations, that they should stop using it immediately. The governor of that state came out to say, come, I'm still in power. You cannot usurp my power and start giving directive. Wait until May 29 when you are sworn in and you start doing that. So it will tantamount to the president-elect, it will tantamount to usurping the power of Muhammad Buhari if you start moving around to those places to start saying, okay, what is it that you have done here? What? No. When those blueprints are submitted, he will look through it. When he said it when he came yesterday, that he's going to hit the ground running, which means he might have studied some of the blueprints that have been submitted to him already, and maybe from May 30th, he will get to the road and say, okay, you claimed this 100-kilometer road was executed with these billions of naira, and there is no common asphalt on this road. Who is responsible? EFCC, take over. We don't know if that is the style he's going to explore. So, being in Nigeria or being in France, I don't see, we have huge tax before him. We should start talking about things that are very of utmost interest to Nigerians. Not him being around, or when is he coming back? Is electricity good in Nigeria? What's power looking like? How many good roads do we have? Don't forget that this government that is going to live in the next how many days just approved billions of naira for about 100 billions of naira for about 44 roads. The president-elect should be looking into that. Why are we not calling his attention to what the Nigerian port looks like? Why are we not calling his attention to what else facilities looks like in Nigeria? Why do we want him to stay in Nigeria?
Okay.
And be saying, okay, what is it that you have done right? But no.
Okay,
no.
before we talk about the focus, before we talk about what we should expect the president-elect to look into, definitely you've been able to justify his absence, why he needed to rest. Okay, but let's talk about his arrival. Tinubu's victory is still, being vigorously challenged the tribunal by two top contestants, Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, and even the scale of the interim national government, ING. With this on ground, some have raised concern if these factors, won't pose as distractions, to the president-elect. How do you expect the incoming president to tackle and handle these factors? Do you see these factors as distractions?
The court cases?
Yes, the court cases from Labour Party, and of course there are still cases concerning his victory, so to say, and of course even they scare the interim national government, ING. Do you see these factors as distractions that could pose, or do you see them as factors that could distract the president-elect, or should the president-elect even focus on that, to settle that first and then focus on new Nigeria?
Well, most times there is no singular problem. In life, you have problems coming at the same time. You now choose which one you prioritize to solve, and which one do you think you can cope with while you look for solution. The cases of the opposition, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and also the Labour Party, LP, and even the NNPP going to courts, it's not going to be a distraction.
Okay.
If the president-elect knows what he's doing. He should allow the judges, his lawyers, to handle that. And I definitely know he will have the team, a legal team, who will be sitting with the lawyers to look into those issues. Other areas like the interim government, the idea of interim government taking over from the incumbent, it's a whole lot of distraction. And unfortunately, the DSS told us that they have identified those who are behind it. Unfortunately, no names, no name has been mentioned so far. And if you claim you identify it, tell us who they are, so that we can prosecute them. Sometimes it looks more like even the APC does not know how to function as a ruling party.
Why did you say that?
Good. Sometimes, if you know what is called opposition, the essence of the opposition, look when the PDP was in government. The way APC functioned as the opposition was one of the biggest problems that did not make Goodluck Jonathan to get a re-election. Do you want to talk about the day, but it was a new year, when there was a protest about the increase in fuel.
Scarcity.
And this incumbent president, the president-elect, and some big names took over Ojota and worked to protest the increase in the pump price of petrol. Nigerians supported it, and the whole thing got the attention of the president, Goodluck Jonathan, there, and it did shifted ground on the amount that a liter of petrol will cost. That is what is called opposition. Now, APC has gotten into power for how many years now? APC has not come to function like a ruling party. Sometimes they even act like opposition to themselves. They responded to virtually every comment from PDP, which ordinarily there are some things you will just ignore. There is something in this country that we forget so easily. Time. Most times, wash so many things off our memories. And Nigeria being the country it is, we have every week new drama. Every week new drama. That we will forget the drama of last week so easily. Now, 3 weeks ago, it was a case of interim government. Oh, somebody, yes. Now, nobody's talking about cash availability again. It's not that the cash has been readily available everywhere. But what has happened?
And even the new notes.
When was the last time you cited the new notes? Now nobody is talking about it again. We are living our life as, okay, let's cope with it. Now, the drama of the arrival of the president-elect started yesterday. It's going to linger on for another 1 week.
Forget about it and pick something else.
We'll pick something else and move on. That is Nigeria for you. So now that is why I said sometimes APC look more like they don't even know what it means to be the ruling party. You are the one that will come out to reply every comment from oppositions or from people who ordinarily you should even ignore. There is a saying that is not hot dogs that back at you, that you throw stone at. There are some of them, you just look at them, take your eyes away, and move on. Some you will not even look at it, not to talk of you responding. The opposition came out to tell us that the president was sick, the president was this, the president was that. Do we need a reply? It's so sad that even some big names who are image makers of the president-elect go on social media to respond to people's comments. And that is my fear for them, if given the opportunity to become the media handler of the president-elect. Is this how the Commissioner of Information will be fighting on Facebook? There are some things that, yes, the world is digital. People talk, people do things on the social media. But you see, every one of them you respond to. Why responding? What are those things, details you give in your response? Do you tackle the issue that has been raised, or you go after the character behind the issue? It's so sad that going after the character, attacking the person's personality is what has been the order of the day. Instead of the issue,
focusing the issue at hand.
The person has raised. And that is why I said even the ruling party sometimes acts like the opposition to themselves.
You asked the question if that needed reply concerning Tinubu's health, but you will still be the one to answer the question because Tinubu's health actually has been a subject of controversy, in the last 2 years. In 2021, Tinubu was away in the United Kingdom for over 3 months, where he underwent surgery and therapy for a knee injury. And he subsequently traveled to the UK, and Paris a few times in 2022 as well. So his return on Monday actually has certainly exploded some of the rumors concerning his health. But the president-elect, in his response yesterday, urged Nigerians to disregard the rumor about his health, saying he's strong and refreshed enough for the task ahead, assuring Nigerians. But should Nigerians hold this statement with high esteem, the assurance from the president-elect over his health for the next 4 years?
I want us to go back to 1999 that democracy started in Nigeria. Tell me that president that has not gone for medical trip in Nigeria. At least, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, for his 8 years, traveled for health reasons for over 5 times. Musa Yar'Adua, unfortunately, did not occupy the seat for so long, but he traveled for medical
using
reasons.
that as case study, Yar'Adua's case, and what the outcome, what happened?
Wait.
Okay.
Jonathan, good luck Billy Jonathan, traveled for health reasons. Now, Buhari. President Muhammad Buhari, one of the factors that was used against him by the opposition was that he is fragile, he is not fine, he is sick, he was that. Don't forget, the point even came that the
That
said
they said
president
that
has died.
and
that
another
a clone-
person was a
Yes, a clone person is now the Buhari in government. Truly, if you look at the Muhammadu Buhari that we saw on his first year in office, and look at him the way he is today, you will know that we have a final Muhammadu Buhari. Which means that his health is better off.
Okay.
What that tells you is that as human, we would definitely break down. In developed countries, for example, Joe Biden has come out to talk about himself at a point. It shouldn't be anything secretive. It's only in Nigeria that we hide that we have diabetes. If you are in government, we'll hide that we have this ailment. But in developed country, the president will come out to tell us. It was even after former governor, President Olusegun Obasanjo left office that he had granted one interview several years after he left office. That he granted one interview that has been contending with diabetes for over 30 years. Why didn't he tell us when he was in office that he had diabetes? What I'm saying is,
So we should even be more open about
Yes.
our health.
as Africans, naturally we hide what we do, especially our health. I was in one place a few days ago. After having my breakfast, I brought out my medications to take my medications, and somebody now saw the drug I was using. I'm like, you shouldn't be using it in the public. I said, why? Is there anybody that will? I said, okay, what is it for? So using medication, even if I have IBP, and that is the reason I'm using that drug, should I make noise? Should I hide it? So I should be going into bedroom because I want to use drugs? That is the mentality we have in this climb. We shouldn't hide, especially politicians who are office holders. They have no reasons to hide what their state status look like.
Transparent enough in everything.
That will even make your subordinates to understand your limitation.
And relate with every step you take.
Okay, we want to commission this road and we have to walk 5 kilometers. And we know that our president has issues with his knee. Would we expect our president to walk that road? So if our president sent a representative to come commission that road because he could not walk, isn't that excusable? But because we did not know that our president had issues with his knee, and somebody else came, we are bound to be speculative. So it's better that the electorate, that Nigerians know the status of whoever is governing them, so that we understand the limitation of that individual. Now, the health challenge or whatever it is that the president-elect is assumed to be having should not make us to be fearful of what he can deliver.
Okay.
He hasn't even taken over the office as the president. Why are we scared of what he will do? Let's look at his antecedent. He was 8 years governor of one of the biggest states in Africa, which is Lagos State. In terms of economy, Lagos State is one of the biggest in Africa. And this man governed that state for 8 years. And this man left a blueprint that all other governors after him are following the blueprint. Yes, we can say because it's the same political party that is still occupying that post. That is even a plus to him. That means he has left a structure that will not make opposition to win election in that state. Till date, the man still makes decision on who becomes the next governor of the state. Despite leaving that office how many years ago? His boys, people he has trained, people who have reasons to pass through him at one point or the other, still becomes governor. And it will continue to exist in eternity. Because he has made himself that godfather that he is. And he's not just a godfather that will put rope in the throat of those he has trained. He gives them the chance, but give them rules. So the health challenge that he might have or what he's going through should be less of our concern. We should be talking about how we can have improved economy. We should be talking about how we can have a new Nigeria. Nobody is talking about how much a liter of petrol goes for now. You will reach some gas stations, they will tell you 185. One will tell you 195. One will tell you 210. One will tell you 230.
No regulation.
No, yes. And nobody is talking about it again. We are living with it. How much is diesel? How many companies can flow with diesel for 24 hours in a day? Some companies spend millions of naira weekly on diesel. How much are they producing? What is the overhead? What is the profit? Vis-a-vis what they are spending. So I think that should be of utmost interest to us, how we can have a better Nigeria. Not talking about the physical fitness of who is our president. I have seen a country where a governor of that country, a governor in that country, was on wheelchair. And throughout all I read about the person, I doubt if there's anywhere they talk about that because he's on wheelchair, he's disabled. Because he's on wheelchair, he did not render what he's supposed to render. I have not read anything about such person. So why should we be bothered?
All right. Why should we be bothered? And of course, improved economy, a new Nigeria. We'll come back to talk more on that after the short break. We'll be back. Definitely, we are still discussing different issues surrounding the arrival of the president-elect, Bola Tinubu. And of course, different questions that have been raised is what we are looking into this beautiful morning. We'll be back on Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Stay locked.
wà láfẹ́ tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yìí ṣoge tó pàgbàmù ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zion. House of Zion, the name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality materials and class. House of Zion, lẹ́tí máa rójúlówó Turkey wears, Egypt and Malaysia clothing, Dubai. Àwọn designer bags lóríṣiríṣi tó jìnnà tí wọ́n fa wọ original ṣe. Àwọn aago, designer sunglasses and perfume. Pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan tóbìnrin àsìkò fi ń gbáfẹ́ lògbò débẹ̀. Ojú mi ń ṣe kámi mi ni ó rà, èmi ni ó mú gbogbo ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí ẹlẹ́sìn tẹ́ gbòógì gbọ́npa fashion tẹ́ wá nílò jàlábíà ìjà oríṣiríṣi. House of Zion lẹ́wọ̀n ti rí gbòòrà. House of Zion wà ní 50 Go Road adjacent Redeemed Church Agape Parish Ọlọ́runṣògo Abẹ́òkúta. House of Zion 056886 House of Zion ìlàjà tí ń tojúlówó aṣọ àti nǹkan aṣaralóge tí ń gbéni níyì.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid to seek greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have deals on how to help you process and secure your visa. Do you want permanent resident and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big to us at all. Our years of experience and X volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and twinkle of an eye. We offer these to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9 Tausaf Mosque, Shalaka Street, behind Abeokuta. 0802 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels.
It's still Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Thank you so much for trusting this frequency, definitely. And of course, we're still discussing issues surrounding the arrival of the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, different questions that have been raised. And I still have with me my in-house guests in person of Oluwa Fisayomi Ajibola, a broadcaster, journalist and brand analyst, also a blogger and communication strategist. All right, still talking about the president-elect and the issues surrounding that. When he was asked, before we talk about the focus and what he should be looking into, the provisions that should be made, when he was asked yesterday about his plans for the country, he said he had been consulting and planning with a view to putting together a strong team so he could, hit the ground running once he assumes office on May 29. And like I earlier stated, before his arrival, we've witnessed the tussle and battle over the principal positions in the National Assembly. Do you foresee a quick response to dousing the tension in the 10th Senate? Because some analysts actually were given analyses of the 10th Assembly that zoning positions for the 10th Senate should have even come before the election, that these should have been settled before the election. They should have zoned who to be either the speakership is going to the northwest or to the south to the east. But with what the president-elect said yesterday, do you see a quick reaction or a quick solution to the battle going on in the 10th Senate?
Okay, I think the issue with the 10th Senate is a case of admitting new JSS1 students. And when, after sitting for the exam, the entrance exam, and they have not even gathered to know each other, they are talking about who will become the class captain.
Class captain, okay.
Who will be the president of the Senate should not even be the major issue here. Have you converged? No. Among you, there are some people who are not returning. And there are some who are just coming afresh.
Yes.
There is even a political party that is only one, YPP, Young People's Party, is only one candidate that is going to be in that place. Will such party be talking about who will become the Senate president? That party will be finding its feet. And if that party is not even careful, before 1 year in that place, he is going to join another party and dump that YPP. Because carpet. Life might be unbearable for him as the only political party in that gathering. Now, zoning. The president-elect told us immediately after he won the election that his primary concern, it's not about tribe, religion, but competency. So he's not going to look at where is he from. He's going to be looking at, can he do it? So if he's going to choose that route, why should we be talking about zoning? Among those who are even talking about zoning, some said that we have presidents, the Muslim ticket, the president being a Muslim, and the vice president being a Muslim, that the Senate president should be a Christian. Some have even said that the next Senate president should come from the Southeast, because the Southwest is the president and the North is the vice president. That we should be talking about the Southeast, so that we have that national character gathering. But should that be the case? Personally, I think that we should, yes, sharing the political seat equally among the tongues and tribes we have in Nigeria is no crime. But do we have those who are competent to deliver that in that tribe we are canvassing from? A senator-elect even said that is the party that should decide who become the Senate president, that the zoning should come from the party, and the party should be the one to say, okay, all you Northerners in the 10th Assembly, go and sit down. All those that have declared that they are interested in becoming the Senate president should go and sit down. Why give the others the opportunity? That should not be our major focus. What is one of the major duties of the State Assembly? To amend laws. To enact laws. The 9th Assembly, the 8th Assembly, the 7th Assembly, what new laws have they been able to come up with? They have over time amended. We have people who have been senators for years, that sometimes when you hear their name, the name will sound strange, because he has neither enacted or even support any bill in the House. What he does is to sit and sleep in the House, and when they are saying nay, or the other one, he will shout. I know of senators who lives in Lagos. I know of senators who lives in Ogun State. That sometimes you ask yourself, at what point do they attend plenary in Abuja? So, who will be the Senate president? It's because the party is interested in leadership. Unfortunately, again, these senators, none of them who have been conversing to become Senate president has even said anything that will be of a direct benefit to the electorate, to the people of Nigeria.
Issue-based.
None of them. What they have been saying is me, what they are interested in as a person, as an individual. And that tells you so much about what the 10th Assembly will look like. We have senators who will come and do abracadabra in their community and call it constituency projects. None of these senators, after collecting their certificate of return, has talked about what their constituency project will look like today. Even if you have used it to campaign, shouldn't you be giving that assurance? Why talking about who will be the leader in the Senate? It's a case of bringing, I don't want to use the cart before the horse, because it's always different in different climates. In some places they put the cart in the front, in some places they put the horse in the front. But what I'm just saying is that they are
the priorities, yes, right.
I don't think the priority is right if you're talking about the Senate president at this point.
All right, so what areas do you think the president-elect should focus on, and provisions that should be made before May 29 inauguration and even after? What are the things that should be at the front, burner, should be, priorities?
Well, personally,
to benefit the citizens.
Personally, I think the first thing that the president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should be looking at is the health sector. It's one of the things that is being used against him. Then I think it should be one of the things that you should stick to the faces of those who are using against you. That I will not travel out of this country for health reason again. I will fix the health ministry, the health sector, to be at least at 90%. How many federal hospitals are functioning very well? We have healthcare centers, which most times should be the duty of the state government. But most of these state governments claim they don't even have the finance to operate it. So we should look at the health facilities. Health cannot be free, except if you are going to deceive yourself. Because in anywhere in the world, medical bills are always expensive. Everywhere, I stand to be corrected. It's always expensive. If you are going through minor treatment, they treat you for free. Some people will tell you, if you go to England, treating me for free, they treat us for free. Don't you pay tax? What do they use that your tax for? And when you want to do major operation, is it free? So health cannot be free. Health facilities, you cannot get it free. It can only be subsidized by the government. So I want the president-elect to look into these aspects. Because we're humans, no matter how careful you are, you will fall sick. No matter how careful you are. Another area I want him to look also into is, if possible, because I know it might not be very possible, if possible, he should make political seats not too lucrative. Not too lucrative, and look at those seats that are duplicates of assignments. The senators, what are they doing? The House of Representatives members, what are they doing? Does it not sound as duplicates? Do we need those two? Sit down and give yourself a whole day to look at the function of who the House of Rep members, the functions of the House of Reps members, and tell me something very, very important to the electorate, to Nigerians, that the member of House of Reps, either at the 9th, 8th, and whichever one, have ever come up with. So, why do we have senators? And why do we have the honorable members of the House? To me, it's duplicates. Can the president look into it? Yes, people might be expecting me to talk about power. But I would not want to talk about power.
Why? Because
I still believe that the federal government should not be the custodian of power supply.
Okay.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan privatized this. Unfortunately, after privatizing, it's just like me not being able to use my phone, to maintain my phone again, and I decided to sell it to you. After selling the phone to you, and I say, the phone has virus, so I will give you money again to go and be repairing the phone. You are the one using it to make money, and I'm still giving you money. That was what former President Goodluck Jonathan did to the power sector. He privatized it. And on several occasions, he gave them, those who bought the privatization, bailout funds on several occasions. Now, the private sectors, the IKEDC, the IBDC, whatever, have taken over the distribution of power. The federal government still generates power. If we don't allow the states to generate and distribute, it is a big sector that the federal government cannot play a major role.
I think a bill has been sent as regards that.
Yes, approving the states to generate. How many states has the money?
That's another issue.
That is the thing. How many of them has the money? How many of them can do? How many of these governors can dip hand into their pocket and bring out their security votes to fund it? But what will they do? As Nigerians that will know they will go borrow to do it, and they will use their companies, their friend companies, their family companies as the driver of such projects, of what value it is now. It will not become an avenue to enrich some set of people, and while those average Nigerians who could not afford it will never set their eyes on the electricity again, except on the street lights. Because the state will make it too expensive. If the bill has been passed that the state should be able to generate and distribute electricity, what is the federal government doing today? What help is the federal government going to provide for that state so that it will be subsidized, that people of that state will be able to afford it? There are some states in this country that they rarely seize power in their area. And there are some states and areas in this country that the last time they set high on their bulb coming with power is over 2 years. And there's no reason for it. It's not that the transformer is bad. It's not that there are no wires. But the only thing is that they have ceased light and they are expecting for that it will come.
All right.
Yes, the president-elect should concentrate on things like good roads. He can achieve most of this. The problem we usually have in this country is that
we want everything being done.
Yes, we'll put everything. Okay, we want to do road, we want to do it, we want to do it. I want to do it in my 4 years.
Jack of all trades.
You cannot. Why don't you pick 2 or 3 and let it be your
effective,
mantra?
Functioning.
Yes, let it be what you will be telling us that let them call me president.
Also,
road.
quickly, another aspect. The removal of subsidy will happen in June, and of course, President-elect also mentioned during his campaign that the subsidy will be removed. What about focusing on the refineries, the modular refineries?
We won't leave here if you want to talk about the subsidy removal.
Okay, maybe that would be a case of another day. All right. Just quickly. So, do you see this as okay? The National All Progressives Congress National Youth Leader, Honorable Dayo Israel, recently commended the president-elect over the inclusion of more youth, in the Presidential Transition Committee. He revealed that over 60% of the names of progressives who made the 14 members Transition Committee leadership submitted by Shiwaji Bola Tinubu to the Presidential Handing Over Committee, headed by the Secretary of the Federation, are youth who have been, proven track records in state and national assignments. So do you see this as an indication of, youth inclusion administration for the next 4 years? And also, do you see a better Nigeria for citizens for the next 4 years? Quickly.
Okay, if you're talking about youth participation in politics, yes, some times ago there was Not Too Young to Rule bill. Unfortunately, most youths that have been given the opportunity in Nigeria have had reasons for the older ones to say they are lazy youths, in quotes, because some of them has disappointed them because of the ways and manner that they have handled the power that has been given to them. However, we still have youths, young ones, coming to the front role in politics. There was this state that a 26-year-old girl won the seat as a member of House of Assembly of Third About. And yes, it's laudable. Let's see how much youth can participate in this 21st century politics. And let's see how youth will be able to prove to the whole world that power should be given to them unguided. Let's see how true they will be able to manage it. Yes, talking about a new Nigeria. I don't want to sit here and say we should expect a new Nigeria. What as the kind of worms or things that have gone wrong in Nigeria, they are not things that can be fixed in 4 years. Not even in 8 years. But there we can see visible changes that will be promising. And how can that come? Policies. Let's see what policies this new dispensation will be coming up with.
Okay.
Let's see.
Implementation as well.
Let's see those policies and implementations of those policies.
Transparency, accountability.
That will not come very soon. But let's look at those policies. How soon? How can you come up with this policy? How can you execute this policy? Are those policies directly beneficiary to Nigerians, all Nigerians, not a particular class of people? Those are some of the things that will make us to say, okay, we should be expecting new Nigeria.
All right.
But if they've not started working and we have not seen what they can do, we can't start promising ourselves that it's going to be new Nigeria.
All right. Of course, we'll say that when there is life, there is hope. Definitely, we are open for the better to happen. This will be the size of the package, and where we draw the curtain this morning on Periscope, on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Thank you so much. Of course, I've had my in-house guest in person of Oluwafisayomi Ajibola. He is a broadcaster, journalist, brand analyst, blogger, and communication strategist. And I must say that you look like a minister of, I don't know, maybe information or something.
No, Minister of Petroleum.
Oh, you like that ministry? And I like your cap as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. Definitely this will happen again today. Tomorrow, I beg your pardon, same time, on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Don't forget to follow us on all the social media platforms. Like, comment, and subscribe at Al-IyamoyeTv. I remain MODUPE AKINYOSOYE. Do have a beautiful day.